Black Americans are the white people of black people is a provocative and complex statement that reflects discussions about privilege, colorism, and social hierarchies within black communities. It challenges us to explore the nuances of race, identity, and systemic inequality. 1. Understanding the claim. The statement suggests that within black communities, certain groups may experience relative privilege, similar to how white people are often seen as having privilege over people of color in broader societal contexts. This could be interpreted as suggesting that black Americans who are lighter-skinned, wealthier, more educated, or have higher social status might hold a privileged position compared to other black individuals, especially those who are darker-skinned, poorer, or from different cultural or ethnic backgrounds. 2. Historical and social context colorism. This term refers to discrimination based on skin tone, where lighter skin is often privileged over darker skin within communities of color. This phenomenon has roots in slavery and colonialism, where lighter-skinned individuals, often of mixed race, were sometimes afforded better opportunities than their darker-skinned counterparts. Economic and educational disparities. Black Americans who have had access to better education, employment opportunities, and economic resources may be seen as having more privilege within the community. These disparities can create a sense of social stratification, where some black individuals or families are perceived as being more aligned with white middle-class norms. 3. Cultural dynamics. Afrocentrism versus assimilation. There is a spectrum within the black community regarding cultural identity and assimilation into mainstream, often white, culture. Some black Americans may be seen as more assimilated, adopting cultural norms and values that align more closely with the dominant white society. This can create tensions within the community, where those who emphasize Afrocentric identities and traditions may feel marginalized. African and Caribbean immigrants. This dynamic also plays out between African Americans and black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. These groups often have different cultural practices, values, and experiences. There can be stereotypes and tensions between these groups, with some African and Caribbean immigrants viewing African Americans as having different attitudes or approaches to race and success in America. 4. Class and socioeconomic status. Class plays a significant role in this discussion. Within the black community, there are various economic classes, and the experiences of a wealthy black professional may differ significantly from those of a working-class or impoverished black person. The idea of black Americans being the white people of black people might point to a class divide, where economically privileged black individuals are seen as disconnected from the struggles of poorer black communities. 5. Critiques and counterarguments. Some argue that this statement oversimplifies the complexities of race and privilege, potentially ignoring the systemic racism that all black people face, regardless of their relative privileges within the black community. Additionally, the term white people, in this context, is used metaphorically to denote privilege and power, not to equate black Americans with whiteness in any literal sense. 6. Broader implications. This discussion is part of a broader dialogue on intersectionality, which examines how various social identities, race, gender, class, sexuality, etc., intersect and create unique experiences of privilege and oppression. It raises important questions about how we understand and address inequality within communities, not just between different racial or ethnic groups. 7. Conclusion. The phrase, "Black Americans are the white people of black people," is a thought-provoking way to highlight internal community dynamics regarding privilege, colorism, class, and cultural identity. While it sheds light on important issues, it also necessitates careful consideration of the complexities and intersections within the black experience. It encourages further discussion on how to recognize and address different forms of privilege and oppression within all communities. This exploration suggests that understanding privilege and power requires a nuanced approach that considers historical, social, cultural, and economic factors. The goal should be to foster unity and understanding while addressing the inequalities that exist both within and between communities.